Right. I'm standing. So do some loosening for your spine. I'll mute everybody while I think of it.
You might find a kelpie wolf statue otherwise.
This morning, I want to spend a little time just contemplating the lessons, the conclusions we've come to as a result of this very disrupted year. So you could call them life lessons. You know, what is it you're thinking? Well, I'll never go back and do that. I don't need to return to that particular habit or activity. And I'm really pleasantly surprised how much I'm enjoying blah. So that's the sort of track we're going to think about through the class today. So for now, come into your Tadasana. Rock the weight a little forward and back, so onto your toes and then back towards your heels. And draw your chin back a little so that rather than any tendency to have your head poking forward, now your ears line up above your shoulders. Your weight is settling back towards the heels. And this tends to help our awareness settle internally rather than to be directed externally. Just take a few moments. We're practicing yoga in a way that is benefiting our nervous system. It's a more subtle practice, not necessarily fabulously strengthening or improving your flexibility, though this style does have those benefits, but it particularly helps our nervous system to find the harmony, to find the balance between the sympathetic, the go-go, anxiety, revved up side, and the parasympathetic, the quieter, calmer, steadier side. We need both, but we learn ways to strengthen our ability to shift between. I'm going to begin by rubbing our palms together, make some warmth there, and then we'll use a little Do-in, an Eastern tradition. So we're simply going to rest the palms over the eyes and then smooth. So brushing across your forehead, staying upright, weight on the heels, brushing your forehead and the cheeks, brushing across, and the jaw, brushing, smoothing, go across your chest, and the other way, across, brushing, the other way, and down the inside of one arm and up the outside of the other of the arm. So brushing the yin side, the meridians there, and drawing up the outside of your arm. So from your chest, down the arm, and then drawing up the outside of the arm, go across your chest, and we'll do the same. Smoothing and drawing the brush up the outside of your arm. Palm facing out, down the yin meridians, and sliding up the yang meridians. One more time. and do a little thumping. So slightly more weight here, thumping across your chest, a bit of a Tarzan. You could make a sound. So thumping across your upper ribs and the sternum, thump on the middle of your sternum and come around to the side of your rib cage, so right under the armpits, down a little lower. Thumping there. And we keep brushing across your lower chest, side to side, brushing, and again, down the sides, and brush around the kidneys, soften the knees. So backs of your hands are brushing around the lower back and kidneys. And then all the way down the legs. So inside and outside, as though you're brushing off anything that's in the way, anything that's you're ready to sweep out of your life. So brushing down the right leg and brushing down the left leg. And then rising up and spread the arms out very wide and bring the palms in front of your heart center. And let's do that a couple of times. Soften the knees, drop down, inhaling, look up, and draw down past the heart. Soft knees, one more time. Arms sweep out wide. And then let your mudra settle above the heart center. And we'll say our invocation together. So I hope you join me as we say, first of all, chant Om, and then say the words together. Take a breath. Om. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we create strength and abundance. May we work together with great vigor. May we grow in clarity, wisdom, and peace. And one more time, sweeping around. Om. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we create strength and abundance. May we work together with great vigor. May we grow in clarity, wisdom, and peace. And let the arms drop down. Take a moment, pause, and notice how you feel. Go into that moment of interoceptive awareness. Just your attention scanning, roaming, checking what's there. While we're nice and still, we're going to start with a balance. I'm going to step off my mat because I find that easier on this spongy floor. The surface is very soft. So if you need to step onto a harder surface, do that. So this movement is, I don't think we've done this before. So I'm going to turn a little, my right hand on my left leg, and then as though there's a string connecting, I'm going to pull up the right hand and pull up the left knee. And then release both back to the starting point. And turn, left hand comes to the right thigh. And like a marionette, pulling up, hand lifts and knee lifts. And let it go. Let's do that a few times. Right hand to left thigh. So center the weight over the standing leg and lift and let it go. Left hand to right thigh. Steady the hip muscles and lift. So we're just alternating quietly, strengthening the muscles in the hip of the standing leg, improving our balance, hopefully. Let it go. Left hand to right thigh. Let it go. Pause there. Just stand still in your Tadasana. Notice how you feel. Notice the sense of starting the effort of coordinating cross-laterally. So the body is operated by the side of the brain on the opposite side, and we're making all those linkages and connections across the hemispheres and hemisphere to body. Let's go again. So you know the sequence. Well, let's add another feature. So I'm going to take my right hand to my left hip, but my left hand is reaching around to touch the opposite buttock. So my arms are crossing over, right hand to left thigh, left hand to right buttock, and then pulling up. And my left arm goes out to the side. And let it go. Take your left hand to your right thigh. Right hand touches the buttock at the back. And then pulling up. And right arm out to the side. A bit wobbly there. Let's keep going. Right hand to left thigh. Left hand behind. Standing tall. Reaching out and up. Nice. The other side. Left hand to the right thigh. And drawing up. Firm the hip muscle. Right arm to the side. Let's do that once again. Right hand to the left thigh. Left hand behind. And it's as though we're manipulating by making those connections mentally and physically. Left hand to the right thigh. We're going to stand on the left hip. And let it go. Shall we try holding it? So last one, we're going to stay in the position for a few breaths. Right hand to left thigh. Left hand behind to the right buttock. Inhale. Pulling up the left thigh, right arm high. Good. Second side. Left hand to right thigh. Wobbly on this side. Few breaths. And release. And shake everything loose. Is somebody tingling? Maybe it's Mary trying to get in. Shake everything, jiggle and wobble, freeing up. And now I'm going to unroll my mat again and take my block. So we'll take a wide stance. And we'll do some diagonal arm swings and warm up our back. So inhale, reach out wide, And on the exhale, fold towards one ankle, one arm tucked behind the back of your pelvis. Inhale, rise, and then exhale, opposite side. Inhale, rise. We'll do that a few times. Folding across. Exhale, forward bend. Again, to the left, whichever side you're working on. And again. This time I'm going to fold forward, take my right hand to the block or the chair, turn the chest out, hand lifts to the shoulder, and then I unwind and open up the side, lifting the hand. Perhaps that suits you. If not, keep your hand on your shoulder or simply resting behind the pelvis. And then release, turn to face downwards, and inhale, rise up, spread the arms, and then release down by your side. We'll go to the second side. Inhale, arms spread wide. Exhale, hand to the block or the chair, right arm behind your waist. Turn the chest, and then perhaps hand to shoulder, and then unwind the arm, reach the hand up, and then we'll fold it back again, look down to the floor, hand behind the pelvis, and inhale, rise up, and back by your side. So we'll do that a few times. Inhale, folding forward. Your back is pretty parallel to the floor. Start with your left hand behind, turn the chest, and gradually unfurl your shoulder, just keeping it as comfortable as you need to. Take a few breaths there. And then furling the hand back behind the pelvis, looking to the floor. Firm the belly as you lift up and relax by your side. So we find our core support when we're lifting up out of the forward bend. To the second side, inhale, spread, and then folding towards the floor, left hand on the block or the chair. Rotate your thoracic, your whole spine out to the right. And if it suits your shoulder, unfurl the arm, reaching high. A breath or two. And then curling your arm back behind the pelvis, looking down to the floor. And firm the belly to lift. Spread out. Back by your sides. And heel toe, walk your feet in a little so they're just a little bit wider than your hips now. Take a big wide spreading out wide inhale, and then wrap your arms right across your chest in a big bear hug. And I'll show you the movement. We're going to bend the knees and turn the chest out to the right, and then make an arc dropping low and turn to the left. So join me. Your arms are clasped around your chest, and you need to use quite a little abdominal support. So bend the knees, drop your bottom down, and rotate towards the right. And then coming to the center and turning to the left. And maybe you can lift up your heel. Sinking down and turning. Lifting the left heel. Firming the belly to help you move through that arc. Perhaps it's best for you if you keep both feet on the ground. Either way. It's a great action for strengthening the belly and the back muscles. The obliques in the abdominal muscle fascia. Last one. Sweeping across and then come to the center. Let your arms drop down. Shake the shoulders. Jiggle the hips. So after we've done that little bit of toning movement, we're going back to the diagonal forward movement. So spread your feet wider again. And we'll stay in the rotation for a few breaths. So once again, we're going to use the block or the support chair, whatever you're using. So inhale, open the chest, spread wide. Exhale, fold forwards, right hand on the block, left hand behind your waist. And then inhale, rotate your chest out to the left and unfurl the arm or the shoulder, making that movement suit you. Stay for 3 breaths. Slow, steady breaths. And then curling the hand back behind the pelvis. Firm the abdomen, pull in your belly, rise up and spread out. And back by your sides. Second side. Slow, steady breaths. Folding towards the floor. Left hand to the block or the chair. Right hand behind. Rotate out to the right. And take an in breath and unfurl the arm, opening up like a tree fern branch, a new frond. Stay for 3 breaths. And then furling back, curl the hand behind the back of the pelvis, firm the abdomen, and rise up. Turn the palms up, turn the palms around behind. And then let your arms drop down by your sides. And heel toe, bring your feet back under your hips and stand and observe. Just noticing the changes, noticing the effects on your energy as we go through the practice. How about a fierce goddess pose? A big, wild, fierce goddess pose. More tings. I think there's several students having problems getting the link today. I would definitely send a recording. It's because Zoom has upgraded and they've changed their whole procedure for accessing. It's said to be more secure, but it's just added another layer of complication. Okay, wide stance once again, this time toes facing out. We don't need the block anymore. So your toes are angled out. And in the Hindu pantheon of gods and goddesses, you know, there are thousands, literally thousands of different deities or ways of being human, ways of expressing our qualities. And there's a goddess for abundance. She's called Lakshmi. And there's another goddess who's a fierce fighting goddess, and she's called Kali. Kali's the one who, she looks very fearsome with weird, wild dreadlocks and a necklace made up of human skulls. So around her neck, she's wearing this necklace of skulls of her defeated foes. She's usually bare-breasted and spitting blood. You know, she's absolutely terrifying to look at. So we're going to be Kali. We'll revert to being Lakshmi at the end of the class. So Kali is truly fierce and she's very confrontational. So squat down, put your hands on your hips, just like you're challenging somebody, challenging your foe, challenging your inner demons. And we're going to bring our hands to this very, like a haka position. We'll give our wrists a shake and we're going to poke out the tongue and make the eyes look really fearsome. And let it go. Straighten the legs. Let's move on the breath initially. So inhale, spread in a 5-pointed star. And now exhale, take on Kali demeanor, shake and poke out your tongue and roar. And if you think it's too silly for words, don't worry about that. Just make the physical movement. Inhale, exhale. This is a good opportunity. Let off a bit of steam. Inhale, reach. We'll stay 3 breaths. Bending the knees, powerful stance, cactus arms. And if you want to make a lion's roar and release all of your pent-up stuff, now's the chance. And let it go. Shake and jiggle. I think we all need a bit of a, unloading opportunity. Without being quite so fearsome, let's do our wood chopping breath. So similar stance, feet wider than hips, and we'll just take our big axe up overhead and then ha. Inhale, ha. Inhale, ha. I wish I could hear you. Ha. One more. Ha. And then let it go. So perhaps you feel a bit lighter. You let that, you release the burden of that weight that you've been carrying. Ready to go forward with feeling lighter and freer, more sense of uplift. Pause, see how you feel. See how you feel physically. See how you feel emotionally. Let's move down now onto the floor. We'll do some Superwoman movements. So we're going to be on hands and knees. If you like to have a blanket underneath your knees, that's a great way of taking care of your knees. I'm going to put this down lower. So come onto hands and knees with your wrists beneath your shoulders, hips beneath your knees, and just shake everything loose. A bit more, jiggling up and down, side to side. I'm going to make a little movement circulating around the body. So I'm going to look into the floor, keep my elbows straight, simply lift up the right shoulder. So the shoulder hitches up and the right hand comes back. Let me show you again. I'm going to lift the shoulder with the arm staying straight. And then the same on the left shoulder. Shoulder lifts, arm stays straight, back to the mat. And I'm going to lift up the left hip. And the knee comes down. Lift up the right hip. And back to the floor. Keep going around your limbs. Right shoulder. So engage the muscles that lift the left shoulder back to the floor. Lift up your left hip, knee to the floor. Lift up your right hip. So the movement is as intense or gentle as you need. Let's go around again. Right shoulder lifts, then back to the floor. Left shoulder, hand to the floor. Left hip, and then knee down. Right hip, so the knee lifts off, and then back to the floor. And then sink back into child pose. So maybe you like to have your head supported on a block or your fists. Pause there. Take a breath. We'll come back again onto all fours. And now try imagining that your spine from the crown of your head to the bottom of your tail is a skipping rope. So there's someone turning the rope at either end of your skipping rope. So the spine is moving around like a big rope, following a pattern that mobilizes. So it could be very gentle, small circles or more vigorous circles. What does your spine enjoy? Do you remember those days in the playground when two of your mates had the skipping rope and turned the rope for you to skip in the center? Now your spine is gently turning. Try it and see how it feels. The more we can encourage mobility in the whole spine and all its connections, the healthier our spine will stay. Let's just pause again, sink back into child pose. Perhaps your head is supported. You might like to take your knees wider. Hands on the back of your head, on the back of your hands or on two fists or on a block. Feels nice. Sensing and feeling. What's your body, your brain perceiving as the sensations in your body? Now come forward again, back onto hands and knees again, and we're going to make the preparation for Superwoman. We're going to take a breath, reach forward with the right arm and back with the left leg, and then exhale back to the starting point. And we do the same side 4 times. Right arm and left leg, extending away from the center, and then back to the starting position. Inhale, reach away from your core, and coming back. Last one. Inhale, right arm and left leg reaching away from your support at the core, and coming back. Sink down, a moment of observing. And then inhale. Resume that all fours position for the second side. Inhale, left arm and right leg. Exhale, back to the starting point. Slow, steady breaths, slow, steady movements. And again, reaching away, connecting across your abdomen with support. And back to the starting position. Just go gently and steadily. One more. Stretch away. Push out through the heel. Reach through the fingers. And return. And then dropping back, sinking down. Long in the spine. Relax. Let's repeat the pose and stay in the breath. So up to you how many breaths you're going to hold the pose for. Hands and knees. We'll take the right arm and the left leg, extend out long. Hear your superwoman soaring through space. Powerful. Coming to the aid of someone who needs your help. You have all the resources you need. And then release. And a moment of stretching back. A moment of symmetry. And then draw forward for the second side. Picture in your mind, indomitable superwoman, able to accomplish anything you choose. Reaching through the heel with the ankle flexed, fingers long, slow, steady breath. And release. And move yourself down to lie prone, all the way to the floor, head turned, arms by your side. Pause there. Let your pelvis, your lower back feel loose. Shake the hips from side to side. Then we're going to practice Shavasana. So take a breath. Reach around, clasp your left wrist with your right hand. Center the head. Lift the chest and both legs. And then exhale, release. Drop your arms, relax the hips. Do that twice more. Inhale, legs are straight, clasping the left wrist. Feeling as though you're balancing on your navel as you lift the legs and the shoulders. Not too much for the chin, keep the neck in line. And release down. Soften your shoulders, shake the hips. Last one, we'll hold this for a little while, if it suits you, but just being careful and attentive to what your body needs. Grasping the left wrist. Inhale. Raise the legs. The face looks down. Strong through all the muscles of the back, the pelvis, hamstrings at the back of the legs. A few breaths if you wish. And then release. Soften down. Shake the hips. Take a little windscreen wiper. So heels lift up and rock from side to side, just like windscreen wipers. And then roll yourself all the way over to lie on your back. Hug the knees up to the chest. Move across gently side to side. And then let your feet come to rest flat on the floor. And I'm going to leave my right foot on the floor, lift up the left knee and move the whole left leg around in a circle. So it's as though my knee is drawing a circle. And the pelvis rocks from side to side a bit. So I'm not preventing, I'm allowing lots of rolling and rocking and massaging. And it could be really slow, small circles, or larger, just reacting to your own sense of what your hips, your lower back, your spine needs. So as my knee falls out, then the pelvis rocks over as well. And then I rock the other way. And it's sort of soothing. And we could change the direction of the circles. So experiment, how does it feel with little circles and how does it feel with wider circles? And then pause, come to symmetry, either feet flat or Baddha Konasana with soles together, knees wide. Where would you like to be? I've got my hands propping up right at my hips, so it's just a little support for the hips when I move into Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana with soles together, knees wide. If that doesn't feel good, then maybe feet flat and wide and knees propping in towards one another, so that then the back of the pelvis will be wider. And then we'll change to circling the right knee. So still lying on your back, left foot stays on the floor. Right knee moving around, describing a circular pattern. And let your pelvis tip and tilt. It's nice for the organs in the belly. There's a bit of shifting the blood around, encouraging venous return. As well as mobilizing the pelvis a bit, the lower spine, change the direction of the circles. And experiment. How does it feel when I make little circles? Really tiny circles, slow circles. And how does it feel when the circle is large? And then let it go. Rest again. Either knees supporting like cards stacked up together, feet wide, knees together, or Baddha Konasana with support at your hip joints with your arms underneath. Quiet there. And then roll to sit. So if you'd like to be sitting on a blanket, I'm just going to sit on my block. Take what support you need now to sit. So find a way of being comfortable and upright. You're going to practice yoga mudra, which is a classic forward bend, soothing position. And for this, you could have your legs extended in front or crossed in easy cross-legged pose. I like to have my knees a bit wider. And then we're going to reach around behind with your right hand holding the left wrist and contemplate folding forwards. So gently extending through the back, stretching over the pelvis as you drop downwards. And then inhale, draw up again. And we'll do that a few times. So going carefully and cautiously, how far forward do you wish to go? So on the exhale, drawing the belly in, lowering the chest, sinking your head lower. And inhale, sitting up, releasing. Last one. So it's a very inward directing effect of this mudra, whole body mudra, folding forward just as far as you want to go for a few breaths. And then inhale, release. Let's sit for a bit. Let your hands rest. And perhaps now bring into the front of your mind what you have noticed over this past year of our yoga practice, but past year, in your actual day-to-day life, how you've been affected by the challenges that we've all been dealing with. The first part of the year was really scary and traumatic. A lot of people, perhaps even in our own community, suffered real loss and damage. People down the coast, people in regions not far away. I'm not sure if you have friends or relatives who were personally traumatized by events, the weather events of the opening of the year. And perhaps you came to some conclusions about how we need to be prepared and facing the actual prospects that lie ahead and what steps we might take to avert future traumas. Through this whole COVID challenge era, comparatively speaking, ACT has got through it in a fairly balanced, comfortable way. We've observed horrendous, serious statistics in other parts of this country and other parts of the world, much worse. And through this time of isolation, we've changed our habits of travel, of venturing out into the community, of interacting with our friends, hugging our dearest people in our life. You know, this is you sort of feel it viscerally. I want to hug. I want to hug that grandchild or that mother or that sister. Is there another life lesson that, you know, you've learned, you've accrued some understanding of how to take care of yourself, how you want to live going forward into 2021? It would be a shame to sort of move through December and all the hurly-burly of Christmas and New Year without taking time to reflect. It would be a pity not to take on board some life lessons for making changes, small changes, or letting go practices that were once part of your life, but you realize, no, I don't miss that. I'm not going to do blah anymore, or I need to take more time for reading, take more time for caring for myself, taking more personal interoception of looking inside and seeing where I'm at, deciding what I need, self-care. So just sit for a bit with your mind dwelling on the lessons that have been important to you as a result of this 2020 special year. I think we won't go back ever to how things were in the past. That's my opinion, in my humble opinion. It's worthwhile taking some time to journal about your thoughts on these life lessons. Just jotting down phrases. It doesn't have to be Immaculate Queen's English. It has to be a stream of your own thoughts and conclusions. Easy breath. Relaxing shoulders. And then please move into Shavasana. So take your supported, relaxing Shavasana position. And earlier in the class, we mentioned Kali, the very fierce, assertive, empowered goddess. This time I want to draw your thoughts to Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance. So I hope you're lying comfortably. She's depicted as very beautiful. She's physically curvaceous. There's an abundance of healthy womanhood in Lakshmi. And sometimes she's, limited to the idea of material wealth, but Lakshmi is way beyond material wealth. She embodies Shakti, feminine energy, an inner experience of abundance, an inner experience of beauty. So in your mind's eye, perhaps you can envisage abundance in the form of Lakshmi. She has a special mantra which involves the word Shreem. Shreem embodies abundance. Om Shreem Shreem Hai Namaha. Om Shreem Shri Hai Namaha. Om Shreem Shri Hai Namaha. Lakshmi represents not only material pleasures, but also the path of true wealth, the spiritual journey towards the supreme goal of self-realization. She's like a guiding light. She's like an epitome of a life well lived in the realization of truth. She's the wealth of health and support along the way. We can find support in our lives in all sorts of directions, from our teachers, from our dear friends, from our interactions with those closest to us. Lakshmi is in all of those. The Shakti, the feminine power and energy of Lakshmi flows through us when we feel love, beauty, and gratitude. When these are lacking, we can call on her from within. With Lakshmi goes those things that make life pleasant. Absolute love is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is usually depicted as soft and serene, at the same time regal. She's usually wearing a red trimmed sari, perhaps gold with red trimming. Her hands carry no weapons. Her gaze is gentle and kind. She has 4 arms. She's depicted with 4 arms, representing the 4 goals, the 4 paths of yoga. Her 2 raised hands each hold a lotus. One half-opened flower shows progress on the path. The other open bloom signifies full awareness or attainment. The 2 arms held lower are in Abhaya Mudra, or freedom from fear. I invite you to share abundance, the feeling of beauty and abundance in your own life. Extend gratitude for the beauty and abundance in your own life. And Lakshmi is always about sharing abundance, giving generously. Lakshmi is there waiting for us each time we step onto the yoga mat. Extend gratitude for the abundance, the joy, the love, the connections that you have in your own life. I shall sound the gong. And of course, you can continue in Shavasana as long as you like. If you're ready to take a little movement, gently move spine, stretch a little. Come to sit. And I shall say, peace in your life, Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing our yoga together. We've had a few ups and downs. There were 2 people who couldn't log on this morning, so must have had the same problem that Amanda had. And it's because Zoom has been upgraded, and you know how that disrupts things. So I'll be preparing a recording and sending it to you if you would like to have another look at this class, then that's an opportunity for you. And I'll send it to Mary and to Lynn, who didn't make it joining us, and Ilsa, who sent me an apology beforehand. But thank you so much. I'll unmute everybody. Some of you are unmuted. Unmute, you can unmute. And I wish you all very pleasant, peaceful and safe time over Christmas. I hope you get to spend some time with people that you love. And we'll have some more Zoom classes next year. So I intend to continue. I think there's quite a need for people to have a safe place to practice their yoga at home. And hopefully we can keep on ironing out the technical glitches. So thanks, everyone. If you've got any questions or comments, chime in.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you. Thank you, Pam. I thought it was a great class today, and I'm so glad you've recorded it, because I'm sure I will try and do it over the holidays.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. And happy birthday.
Happy birthday, yes.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Pam.
birthday, but
Big
it's
number, which I don't need to disclose. A very big number, in keeping with my grey hair.
So what date, Pam, today?
Tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
From
I have sent out a little invitation to our summer renewal program. This has been going on for probably 10 years now. In January, we get together there's a few of you who have attended over the years, and if you're interested to come along this year, that would be fantastic. Or if you haven't tried a summer renewal program, this could be your chance. We go gently because they're longer classes, so we're not aiming to step up the intensity. There'll be periods of strengthening as well as slowing down, smooth, subtle movements, just the way we normally work in this class. And we have time to delve a bit into some other aspect of self-care. And this year, my student Rowena is going to bring you some guidance on the use of essential oils. So this will be essential and sensory experience as well as a lovely yoga practice. So we'll use the map provided by the chakra teachings. So chakras are a sort of teaching about yoga that was introduced somewhat later than Patanjali's sutras, but they're pretty well adopted throughout yoga practice as ways of thinking about different sorts of energy that we have in our body. And Rowena's essential oil presentation will link into that teaching about the chakras and how we might use our yoga to help our energy. So it's all about energy. That's all there is. I say that every now and then. That's all there is, energy. So, yeah, give some thought and book in or write to me and ask any questions that you might have. It will be here in my studio, and we'll limit the numbers so you can be safely distanced. I think we'll have to have 7 max. So 7 people can fit in the space and not be breathing on one another too much. I hope you'll give some thought to that.
Lovely, Pam.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a very happy Christmas and pleasant, quiet, safe, festive season.
You
Thank you.
just
Thank you,
to
Pam.
everyone.
Yoga we couldn't have done without these online lessons this year. It's just been fantastic that you could provide us with these classes.
That's good. I'm pleased that you found some benefit. That's what it's all about. And I love sharing it, and I'll just keep doing it. Even if I have another birthday, I'll just keep on doing it.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.